Hi everyone, my name is Christopher Melotti from Melotti Media Copywriting and Message Marketing Bureau, and I help people and businesses get the most impact out of words. I'll introduce you to everyone else.
Hello everybody, my name is Kristen Hancock. I'm from Font & Swatch Branding and Design Agency, and we assist people to refresh and remarket themselves.
Hi, I'm Arielle from Two Giraffes. We are a full-service video production and animation studio.
Hi, I'm Mike Sandys, Managing Director of Oddball Marketing. We're an action-orientated marketing agency.
So, and I'll move it on to solutions and what we can define as. Now, I'm a big fan as a marketer of omnichannel, and which means that it's touching all different channels because we have so many channels available. But there is this danger of getting into the quantity over quality sort of aspect, and that's that ratio. So let's take this conversation into what people can be more aware of, and like Kristen has touched on it already, but I mean from my perspective in the writing domain, what I find is that because everyone can write, we get into this thing where people go, oh, I'll just give it a go, and that's perfectly fine. I encourage people to, but it often takes someone external to say, wait a minute, like Ariel was saying, it's, you know, who's the audience? What are we trying to do here? That's where you start to uncover the quality. And it's not just content for content's sake. It's all about bringing it together and making sure that it's all hitting a strategy. So from the writing perspective, the way my suggestions and tips would be is to, you know, rethink everything and look at it and answer the question, does this fit in with my strategy? Is this part of my marketing campaign? Does this have a purpose? And what am I going to get out of that? That's what I would do as sort of tick boxes to check its quality content. Kristen, would you like to weigh in about how?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And following on from that, we probably start a step earlier than you, Chris, in terms of from a branding perspective, we ask a number of questions. Are you on brand from your colours and fonts? Because particularly within digital media, we see a lot of people introduce a whole new colour palette, or they'll go on and all of a sudden they've decided that they're a designer and they're just going to introduce random fonts. And people don't realise, but once again, comes back to that subconscious. If you see a different font associated with a brand, it then causes that lack of trust because it's lack of consistency.
Kristen redid my brand recently, and that really opened my eyes to. I've got the words down, but the colours and the images and all that was off, and that's something that I learnt.
Yeah. So and this comes back to what we call a bit of a content bottleneck, because when you want to push more content out and you want to promote yourself more, you've really got to do a lot of work at the front end to give yourself, whether they are the templates that you need to get ready, or whether it's a specific campaign and you need the right messaging, or you need video content. It must be, from a brand perspective, it must be consistent. It must be on brand. So that's colours, that's fonts, that's to make sure your elements are on brand. It's making sure that the imagery, right down to the visual and verbal tone. So are the images that you're putting out there, are they correctly adjusted? Are they cold because that's the target of your brand? Are they warm? Are they colour tinted? Yeah. So this is all getting each and one of those aspects. You'll recall, Chris, we worked on a medical brand.
Yes, I was just about to say.
just the way that we colour adjusted all of their imagery to give them a consistent, warm, inviting emotion.
And it
the
worked,
audience.
because at their conference, all of their imaging and all their, like the words were consistent with the images, and it made their clients feel more welcome to come to the booth.
Exactly.
So, and it does work. And so what you're saying, Kristen, is branding acts as like a framework for quality.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you've done that work up front, and particularly with your with preparing your content, running the campaign becomes so much smoother.
Yeah. You're like a guide.
And the one other question that we would always encourage you to ask is, when you are promoting yourself, whether it's in a traditional media or whether it's in digital, you've really asked the question, why am I putting this out there?
Yeah.
Because if you don't understand the why you're putting it out there, then get your finger off the button. Yeah. And
actually, that's a really good point. The why. The why question.
Really peel back and say, right, okay, if I don't understand why I'm putting out there, how can my audience? Yeah. And then if I can't see the consistency of what I'm putting out there, then how can I expect an audience to do it? So
that's very true.
That's
the other big thing too with when you do the branding right and the content and video and stuff, is that you then create real marketing assets that you can work with, that you can continue to use. So whether you use it today or it's out there and people see it today, tomorrow, a week, a month, a year, it doesn't matter. It's fine. And it's still used to help promote your business. Whereas if you've got poor quality stuff, it's out there. Within the week, you're kind of thinking, well,
should I?
Regrets. Regrets.
Can we get rid of
Content
that?
regret. Let's make that. Content regrets.
But that's what I love about what you do with video now, Ariel, and in that a properly thought through, a properly sort of like a video that's properly scripted, Chris, and then properly produced. It's not just one campaign that is being used for. You've got so much opportunity with it now. It's an investment.
Yeah, and that's actually what we talk to with clients all the time, because sometimes they don't want to push the button on a video until they have a very particular campaign. They say, let's get on it, let's go, let's do this, right? When you actually get to step back and you think of the strategy for the year or even for the next quarter, when you sit down and bring out that quality video production and get the right crew, you can actually create content that can be utilized for multiple different videos later on. So when you step back and focus on that strategy, you can actually get that quality content and even more of it. But one of the things I want to touch on with quality, when you discuss the omnichannel, is the importance of just because you have that content, not pushing it on everything. Because every platform has a completely different audience. And you might have audiences on all those different platforms, but they want to be spoken to in the manner of the platform they're on. They don't want your long LinkedIn video in
I agree.
horizontal on their Instagram or Snapchat thrown in at a minute and a half where it gets cut off, right? You have to really think about, where are we putting this? Who's my main audience on that? And that's actually all the way back at the beginning at pre-production and strategy. Where is this going to go? That is the number one thing you should ask yourself before you ever start doing the script and you start going into post, is pre-planning what are the different video cuts we want to put out there, because you should not try to shove one video onto all your different channels.
Yeah.
I think that's what we see most often in terms of mistakes around marketing, is just not thinking things through beforehand. And to your point, Kristen, before, not asking why. Like, why are we doing this? If you can answer that one first and then give it a bit more planning and thought around where and how are we going to use it, the activity and the assets that you create are bound to do a lot better and get better results.
Yeah, another tip I would say is make sure you're putting a content marketing plan together. I mean, there's a lot of people that overlook this step, and having a plan where you set out your goals and objectives and what you want to do and where you want to be and what days even. It's something that I use for my team. And it wasn't like we just went, oh, what do we want to do on Monday? It was like we looked at it and said, okay, Monday is when people are getting back in from the weekend and people are feeling a little bit like scattered and, ready to start. So provide some lighter content. Same as Friday, right? I do the same, where it's a bit of a lighter content, but it's always around value and it's always around copy. And that's something that it comes from a plan, so that we ensure that there's quality there every time, so that people just don't go, oh, he's just thought, oh, what am I going to do today? And it's, you don't think people notice, they notice.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
notice, and they'll go, wow, that's a bit of a dud post. and then you go, oh, they'll forgive me. And this is something I teach in my marketing classes.
It takes longer to get them back than
100%. It's like I always give the example of the travel blog, where you've got a travel blog and you follow this travel blog and you love it and it's consistent and quality, and all of a sudden they start posting about their cupcake making and you go, whoa. What happened? And they go, oh, it's the same. It's fine. Like, I'm making cupcake, right? And then they give you a few times, then you'll lose all your followers because they're like, well, I'm not here for that. So I think that's where we need to be. So last minute tips, anyone want to throw in?
Yeah, look, for brand, and brand, make sure that
it's the framework. I think that was a really good takeaway.
Make sure that it is on brand and you're using the assets of your brand. And don't be afraid to start slowly. Content gets easier the more you do it.
Yes.
So just start slowly with it. Make sure it's on message and you've got the why.
Actually, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Ariel?
Yeah, I think we can all agree that it's that strategy and the planning and really just delving into, why am I putting this out there? Is it fitting with my brand? Is this pushing out my message? Am I going to accomplish from this what I want to? If someone watches this, will they know it's our brand?
Yeah.
and will it give out the quality that we put out there to the world? And spending most of your time there in that sector before ever moving forward is the best thing you can do for your marketing.
I think when we look at it, we sort of think about marketing in terms of the funnel. And when you think about people kind of coming in the funnel and sort of going through that journey through all your marketing assets and the experience of your brand before actually making a purchase, if that funnel has a few hiccups in there or some low quality stuff that's done, you'll find that there'll be a huge leak in that funnel. And so all this great work that we're doing, generating all these opportunities and people coming through, if you haven't got that quality and you have this huge leak going out the funnel, it's the most costly mistake you can possibly make. And just by plugging that funnel, by actually putting good quality in there, means that everything else is enhanced and you get better results and your money goes a lot further. So it's well worth spending that little bit of extra time, start and sort of work up the funnel in terms of your assets and stuff, and do it well, knowing that each time you do that, you're just going to get a great result.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for our very first episode. Thank you, everyone, for being part of it, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.